Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about worry and how, in my opinion, there's two types of worry: future anxiety and regret over the past. Now, as I'm doing this, you're going to see some shots from this beautiful 13 or 14 mile hike I'm on over here in Point Reyes, kind of the south side of it. We're going to be going to Alamere Falls. Now, this is my first time being here, and as I step out of frame here in a second, you're going to see just how absolutely amazing it is. I hope to get some better shots that you'll see later on in the video, but yeah, I just hope that you take something positive, something inspiring away from this topic today. Yeah, enjoy. So what I want to talk about is how there's no benefit to worrying. It is strictly there for us to overcome, but how we overcome the two are very different. So regret is something that we cannot change. However, the future is something that we can create. Now the thing is, I feel like you can still have regret about things that are happening in the future or that you want to do in the future. For example, me not working towards my goals today is going to cause me to regret my actions when I get to tomorrow. So now, one thing is going to be causing me both anxiety and regret. However, I don't think we should put too much mental strain on this because we're still given another day to work towards our goals. So are we going to waste our precious time, worrying about the past, worrying about how we're not moving fast enough? Or are we just going to skip over that and actually get to work? The latter is better. But let's get to the core of this message, and I'll do that by starting off with an analogy for regret. So for me, it's a lot like quicksand. It's harder to get out of it the longer that we stay in it. It stops us from progressing towards our goals because we're so stuck on looking at the past. And how are we going to hit our goals if we're not looking at them? I just think that when we dwell on the past, our past decisions, our past mistakes, without the intention of learning from them, from growing from them, I think it's wasted breath. Things happen. We get hurt, but we don't need to keep hurting ourselves. It's so easy to live in the past, and that's why I say it's all like quicksand. It should be easy to get ourselves out of it if it's just a foot, but when we find ourselves neck deep in it, it's a different story. So don't let yourself sink. Look forward. Look at what can be and focus on heavenly things. Focus on creating a better future for yourself and also the people that are around you. I wanted to switch it to the GoPro real quick just because I'm pretty close to the end. It looks like high tide is still going to be here for just a little bit. If you don't know, Alamere Falls is only reachable by or during low tide. So this is my view right now. Water's coming up just right there, and basically, let me show you. I might just fly the drone over there if it takes too long. Isn't that beautiful? We're going right over there. I can technically walk on those cliffs right there, but I mean, I got some equipment, I'm not really trying to do all that. But this is beautiful right here. I'm gonna take a quick snack break, finish up the hike. We're about halfway done now. 6.64 miles. I did take a couple detours and photo ops and all that stuff, so it looks like it'll be just around 13 miles total. But let me read here real quick. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on kind of the worry that I was feeling leading up to making this video. It was the last bit of worry before I actually talked about this topic that I was having to deal with. And what I was feeling is basically, I've been praying about this. I make videos, but nothing like this in this format, especially not with me as the subject. But there's just been a lot of things on my heart that I've been wanting to talk about, and I feel like I am going to be now shifting my video making towards this type of format, where I talk about these things, and I talk about my walk with God personally, but how we all share similar emotions. Maybe we don't go through the same things, but we deal with the same feelings. And, you know, leading up to this thing, you know, of course I'm feeling a lot of doubt, but that's not from God. And that's not what he would want from me. I've been praying about this. I've been really wanting to do something like this. And that, you know, reminds me that when we're walking with God and we're in alignment with his plan, I pray that I'm in alignment with his plan. There's nothing that can stop us. It's November 23rd, 2024. There's lots of storms going on in this area, especially in the north. I'm from the Bay Area, so in the northern Bay, there's a lot of rain happening, but not right now, not on this day. The days leading up to this, lots of rain, and as soon as I get home, it's gonna start raining again. For me, you know, I'm trying to make excuses like, oh, it looks like it's storming, I probably shouldn't go out there this weekend. You know, I checked the weather forecast and it's like, actually there's a pocket of time where it'll be perfect for you to go and do this. Maybe, you know, if we take a different situation, not just what I'm doing here, but maybe other situations that I find myself in, other goals that I'm trying to accomplish, or whatever you're working on, we begin to doubt ourselves. We begin to look at the environment and say like, oh, okay, maybe it's not the right time. Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe, you know, things just have to be a little bit more perfect before I can step into whatever this plan is that God has for me. And that's understandable, but, you know, we begin to think of these excuses that will prevent us from acting. So for me, it's raining up here a lot, but 6 a.m. today, when I got here 6:20, it stopped raining. So there's this little pocket of time God has given me to come and act on this plan that he's given me, but also a plan that I've been working on. But I don't know where it's gonna lead. But I felt on my heart that I needed to do this. And when it comes to worry, I think we get ahead of ourselves. We look at everything else. We look at the future. We look at how we're not ready from, you know, our experiences in the past. We look at everything else. God tells us, just look at today. Look at what's right in front of you. There's a reason he gives us a lamp to our feet and, you know, not something much brighter. Because a lamp, it's only going to show you what's in your immediate area. And for God, for us walking with God, that should be enough. We don't need to know the whole plan. We would like to, but we are not God. We might get overwhelmed knowing everything. We might get ahead of ourselves. We might look at what's ahead of us and become fearful. And you know what? I think I'm supposed to be here. I think I'm supposed to be doing these things. And so I asked myself, why was I worrying? You know, and honestly, you know, that's probably the devil. That's probably my flesh. That's my fear. That's what is trying to prevent me from doing the things that is good, that honors God for us here on earth. It's just what we're supposed to be doing. It's what our purpose is. The devil is always trying to stop us from, you know, working on our purpose, getting closer to our goals and moving along on that path that God has set out for us. That's just fear. And, you know, that's similar to worry, like I said in the beginning, where we just have to overcome it. And I don't care if it takes you years, months, you know, generations, I don't know. I hope it takes less than that. But pray about it. Keep praying about it. Keep it on your mind. Keep it on your mind and pray that God is working on it, because he is. He's going to stay faithful. He's going to stay consistent. So what does that mean? It's up to us to do the same. You know, I probably would have gotten here a whole lot sooner if I wasn't distracted or discouraged about my past, in my past, whatever. But then again, maybe I needed that. You know, we talk about, oh, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Look at, I haven't done enough. But maybe you've gone through enough. But for me, and I'll touch on this on later videos, I've been through some stuff. You know, I got trauma, and when I look at all that stuff, I think that's why I'm ready. Maybe I needed to go through those obstacles to make me, you know, quote unquote ready. And ready for what? Ready for this moment, ready for this season, ready for this version of myself. And God works in mysterious ways, and how he works it out, in my experience, is unfathomable. So for me, I just have this belief that things happen and they're part of the plan. Something bad happens, something plays out not the way that I wanted, it's just part of the plan. You know, God will turn it into something good, and I'll grow from it, and you will too. We worry so much, but if you take everything you've been through and you break it up and you take the lessons from each one of those things, you're a whole lot wiser and stronger than you were at the start of this. I'm gonna get back to my little snack break here. I don't know if we're making it to the falls. So in the time it took me to fly my drone, eat a little bit, the tide actually came out and we made it. So of course we got to dip our head in just a little bit. I dressed real warm today, so I'm sweating. I'm just gonna dip my head in just right here in the corner. But Alamere Falls, I don't know if I can just dip my head in, to be honest. It looks like I gotta put my whole body in. That feels good. So, low tide isn't for, or sorry, high tide isn't for another 4 or 5 hours. So, I'm just gonna hang out, take some shots, cool off, and now dry off. But yeah, glad to have made it. So next, when we're talking about worrying about the future, the question I want to ask is, why do we do this? You see, we haven't even gotten to that time yet. So that means that there's still time for us to work it out. And the thing is, if we don't know how to work it out, God does, which is ultimately the whole point of this video, is the whole focus of this channel. Life is full of unknowns, which I don't know about all the time, but most of the time is what causes us to worry. We don't know how something's going to turn out, and so we worry about it. But God says He has plans to prosper you, plans to give you hope in the future. So why not apply that to your current situation? Right now, as you're watching this, you may not have any hope, and I've been there, trust me. Like, trust me, I've been there. And in my experience, when we lean on God, He's going to be able to open our minds, open our eyes, and our hearts to perspectives we never would have seen otherwise. And this isn't magic, it's just time. Life goes on and things change, and I just don't want you to be closed off to that change. I want you to actually expect it, and when you realize things are changing, praise God. Now back to what I was saying about the unknown. We worry about things when we don't know how they're going to end. So let's feed into those thoughts. Let's say things go bad, or at least not the way that you wanted. Does that mean that God has left you hanging? No. All that means is that there's something else waiting for you in this unknown plan. Now, check this out. Now that things have not gone the way that you wanted to, it now has the possibility to turn into regret. So now you're faced with two choices. Give in to that regret, believe that whatever way you had in your mind, that was the correct way. And now that it hasn't gone that way, things are going to be worse off. Or second choice, believe that God is still working. Refuse to believe the lies that are going on in your head telling you that things can't get better, or you can't get better. I mean, maybe you could have done more. Maybe you could have planned more. Maybe if you tried harder, things would have been different. There's still nothing to beat yourself up about. This is our first time living. We make mistakes. We underestimate situations. We might get lazy. We might just be ignorant, because how are we supposed to have all the answers for every situation that comes our way anyway? Be kind to yourself and look at it this way. Things didn't go the way I wanted. But what can I learn from this situation now? then you take those lessons, you evolve, and you go into the next day wiser. I get it, sometimes we really wanted it to go one way. I know there was things in my life that I desperately wanted it to go one way and it went another. But life goes on, and I promise you can still be happy. Don't let this one bad situation distract you from all the good ones that have happened in your life, and especially not from all the good ones that are yet to come. Don't get stuck in that quicksand. In life, you gotta be ready to pick yourself up time and time again. Life may not get easier, but we sure as hell can get stronger. But honestly, I think that starts with forgiving ourselves. So forgive yourself, get to that healing, and be excited for what's coming. Now, I got 4 verses I want to leave you guys with, and then we'll call it a day. They are, therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough troubles of its own. That's Matthew 6:34. 1 Peter 5:7 says, cast all your anxiety on him, because he cares for you. This one can address both forms of worry, past and future. This one's one of my personal favorites, Philippians 4:6. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. This encourages turning worry into prayer and building that relationship with God in the process. And lastly, I chose this one because I really stand by praising God in our times of struggle. And that's James 1:2-4. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kind, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. This burden of worry and regret is definitely a trial that tests our faith. Don't give up. God is working on you. I love you guys, and all for His glory.